Hi, everybody. It's Janae again. I'm excited about this discussion, and our discussion had to be from the ProQuest historical um, newspaper. And the professor suggested JFK, and we had to give him information based off of um, American history um, 2 course, something that would engage students. And I felt that talking about JFK's assassination was good, it was significant. So that's what I'm going to talk about. So, the first newspaper article that I have is Mobsters linked to JFK death. Assassination Unit issues final report laced with doubts mobsters anti-Castro activists linked to JFK's assassination by George Leonard Jr. And this newspaper basically paints a picture and it emphasized on his death, J.F. Kennedy. Well, basically Kennedy's death and how it transpired, and people were in shock and they really couldn't believe this. And this is what was written in the newspaper. And in the headlines, it displayed Carlos Marcello, Lee Harvey Oswald, and James Earl Ray, who were the suspected killers in the case of Kennedy's assassination. And so it displays a picture for the public, Congress, for everything political, and all over the world, the countries, for people to see, like, this is who we speculate, or this is what we're investigating. And the other newspaper that I found was Did Democracy Die in Dallas by Jefferson Morley. And this newspaper was intriguing, of course, in the post itself. Um, but Did Democracy Die in Dallas tells it all within the title. No, it didn't die. It just went by the wayside because people, again, weren't shocked. And Major John Newman, who was U.S. Army, um, basically proclaimed and confessed, like, the citizens are not listening. They're not. They don't want to listen. They don't believe us, and they were in shock. And he felt that it's a state of emergency. And so the Washington Post displays all this information to let people know, like, this assassination was real, and the assassination is really affecting people and how society actually lives based off of what happened to Kennedy. Um, People were basically idolizing Kennedy, and he means so much to people. I mean, there's no way around it. I mean, um, he wanted to invade Cuba. President Kennedy wanted to invade Cuba in 1962. He wanted to do the nuclear weapons treaty in 1963 in October. And then he supported the African American Civil Rights Movement in that same year of 1963. And then, boom, there was his death, November 22nd, 1963. And that makes you think. And it's an argument within self. Like, okay, all these things are like lumped together and it's giving all this information. So, and then another journal newspaper was the JFK Assassination Files. In the newspaper, it brings out the facts on how they want to reopen the assassination files, and it was already released to the public. And they wanted to redact and renege on that decision. They were going back and forth. It was a political um, issue, and it just kept turning over and over, and society wasn't at rest based off of the assassination. Like, okay, we don't believe you. And that's where it is. And so in American history, um, 2 course, it really would open up the minds of many students and give a debate on why he was killed, how he was killed, and was it based off of the things that he did, based off the people that he supported. It was all political, in him being a Democratic, and then you have some Republicans, and it's back and forth. It's like today, like we have the President Trump, and everything is back and forth, Republican, Democratic. You know, whether you Democratic, which way you're gonna go, and it's just like society is in awe, it's in shock. We're going through the coronavirus, and in itself, the coronavirus is death. And like, what we're gonna do? People are in shock, and they're looking for help. So thank you guys for your time.